Hello, Ani bonjour. My name is Thaila Sarazin. I'm currently the Healing and Wellness Worker with the North Bay Indigenous Friendship Center. I am up here in collaboration with Jerry McComb to do a medicine walk today at the college trails. So right now we are going into the trails, Descheny Falls and Canada College. I'd like to show you today that there's lots of different kinds of medicines that you can use right in your backyard and here in North Bay that are common to everybody. So join me. So this here is a cedar tree. They're pretty common around almost every area. They do like water though. They have this kind of stringy little bark. Oh look, chipmunk. They have this kind of stringy bark and they have very characteristic kinds of leaves. This tree is often talked about because it's one of the medicines that Indigenous people gave the settlers when they came over and were suffering from scurvy. It is really high in vitamin C. It's very easy to make it into a tea. You just after you offer your tobacco, you can pick the leaves and you put it in hot water and let it steep for a little bit. Some people like the lighter tea. The very strong tea has very strong taste, so some people don't like it. The tree is known as the women's medicine. So it's one of the medicines that spiritually women look after. It's used as a protection medicine. So some people will smudge with it. Some people will take the buds and put it under their bed to help keep them safe. We use it a lot in ceremonies when we make circles or we put it down on the ground. It'll help protect us as well. We use it for cedar baths because the medicine is very cleansing. And when you ask for that medicine, you'll make sure to ask what you're going to use it for and tell the tree what you're going to use it for. So this is the birch tree. This is one of the trees that we make most practical use out of. The bark likes to curl off like this. We can cut into the tree about 3 to 5 feet off the ground, chest height-ish. And you do that in the spring so you don't kill the tree. And you don't want to cut into the wood, you just want to take the bark. You cut a vertical line like this. And then there's a certain time in the spring when you do that and it'll just peel right off. If you try and do it in the fall, when all the trees go to sleep, you'll kill the tree. So this tree, you can also make into a tea. Natives love tea. So you can either use the bark or the leaves of the tree, or even the wood, and it'll help when you're sick. You can take a bath in it, and it'll help clear up your skin. If you're suffering with swollen joints or like arthritis or rheumatic pains, it'll help as well if you either bathe in it or take it as a tea. Again, you don't want to make it too strong. In the spring, you can also tap the birch trees for their sap. And you can either boil it down or keep the water to drink. And in the spring, after the winter, that water is very medicinal and it'll help us after the winter. During the winter, they would preserve all the meats, the berries, the medicines, and they would ration them out during the winter until the spring, or they would hunt in the winter or trap, and whatever they had they would have to ration out because they never knew when their next meal was. So there's a lot of different trees that you can tap. Maple, actually you can tap the cedar as well, but birch is also one of those trees that you can tap for the sap in the spring.
Yep.
So this here is rabbit root. This one is missing a few leaves because it's getting into the fall now. But this one's a bit of a better example. It has 3 little offshoots like this, and it has 5 leaves. 3 at the top and 2 towards the bottom, but one leaf is always smaller. It's the little guy. And all 3 of them are normally the same. Depends on, how much it's grown, or if it's grown well, or like right now it's the fall. But the root is thicker. It's a bit of a runner, so it's long. It has like that kind of off-white look. And it's the root that you want. In fall, it's a perfect time to get the roots because all of the nutrients are going underground. So when all the plants sleep, all of their nutrients are in there. Rabbit root is very known for its ability to help energize you. So when you're feeling sluggish or slow or you're really tired, you can boil a little bit of this. Once you clean it, a lot of people will use it with other medicines as well. But that's the main thing. And especially come winter time, when you have lots to do, you're trudging through the snow, it's very exhaustive, or when you're hunting, the men will especially use that. So we're going to talk a little bit about oak. Oaks have a very distinctive leaf, and there are many different kinds of oaks. This is just one kind, just like birch or maple, or there's plenty of different kinds of the same kind of tree. The oak tree, I know these ones are a little small, but they're very distinctive for their acorns. And those acorns are edible. Not raw though. So when you make acorns, you have to gather them up. It's easier to gather them after they fall during this time of year. And they have to go through a process of soaking in water, and then it's called leaching. So when you continuously soak something in water and change the water a few times, and that gets out some of the more toxic chemicals and renders the acorns edible. And the acorns could be ground into a flour. And that acorn flour is very nutritious, and it stores really well. So throughout the winter, you can add that flour to make, bannock, fry bread, and lots of good stuff.